Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Do you want to get into the mind of the scariest beast in psychology? And do you want to know how this relates to the killing of George Floyd? Then keep watching. First, I need to say that this is just my opinion. I am not a psychologist and this is for entertainment purposes only. I feel like this event is the last job for a lot of people. Enough is enough. That said, this is my opportunity to contribute in my own way to this cause I believe in. Malignant narcissism is one of the most violent, ugly, and difficult mental illnesses there is, and narcissism in general is the second-hand smoker of mental illness. Like a cherry on top of a cake, malignant narcissism, on top of having all the toxicity and negativity of narcissism, also has sadism. In this video, I'll be using articles from Psychology Today, also news articles about the biography of Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin is an ex-cop who worked in the MPD or Minnesota Police Department for the last 18 years and has a history of brutality with 18 complaints. Without further ado, here are the 10 traits of malignant narcissism I believe Derek Chauvin has. The first trait is to manipulate others using fear. Malignant narcissists use fear and intimidation as a way to control others. The first instance of this happening is when he says, "Don't use drugs," to the people watching him mistreat George Floyd. The reason he said that is not only to divert, but it's a way of saying, don't do that or this will be your treatment. Also, if you look at the video, the other police officers seem to be intimidated and scared of him. I believe that's one of the reasons why they don't say anything, is because they're intimidated by him. And I'm not justifying their actions. And this is yet another sign that he uses fear to control others. As I read in Psychology Today, and I'm quoting, "It is not uncommon for others to feel anxious, intimidated by, and fearful of people with this condition." Yes, this is very well said. The second trait here is sadism. This is the one trait that singles them out from the rest of the narcissists. People like this bring harsh punishments for small minor acts. They enjoy seeing others suffer and it empowers them. Just like Psychology Today said, they lash out or humiliate others for infractions of even the most frivolous nature. Also, Psychology Today wrote, they process information in ways that hurt society in general, but also people who love or depend on them. If you've seen the video, you would have noticed that the way the cop was standing tall and with his arms puffed up like this, it just shows not only dominance, but it shows that made him feel empowered. And this is exactly what this condition is all about. For number 3 here, we have poor judgment or awareness of the consequences of their actions. People like this don't really picture the consequences of their actions. I mean, look at him now, he's in jail. I think that if any of us were in that situation, not that we were, but we would definitely think about that. If any of us were to kill someone, I think that we'll have that in mind, that our actions have consequences. And for people with this condition, they would not even think about that. It's not even in their head. An example of this is him being watched and recorded. It didn't even pass his mind that he could be reported or that he will suffer consequences, because they're unable to think about consequences. Fourth trait here is lack of empathy. This is a very obvious trait. If you've seen the video, I personally, when I saw the video, I was holding my tears because it was so hard for me to watch this. I had so many emotions and it's actually really hard for me to even talk about it. So I think any normal person with normal empathy would feel something seeing someone suffering like that. And people with narcissism in general, but specifically people with that type of narcissism, they like any connection with empathy. They like any connection with the suffering of others. Also, we see no guilt or remorse when he knew that he died. Nothing at all. For trait number 5 here, I have dominance and control. This is a very big drive for malignant narcissists. They not only want to control, they want to dominate. And the first impression I had actually was that he wanted to dominate him and dominate the situation and dominate the other cops. We see that the posture is elongated. We see that the arms are puffed up. For trait number 6 here, we have entitlement. This is very common within narcissists. Basically, he did not hesitate in his action. He did not take any feedback from others, and his authority was not to be questioned. For number 7, we have no emotional reciprocity. This basically means that when you say hi, I say hi, and we cannot mirror each other's emotions and we validate each other. But he's lacking this to such a big extent that when other people are kind of throwing things at him like, oh yeah, be careful, like don't kill him please, like all those stuff, he was not responsive at all. Like it didn't matter what they said, it didn't change the outcome or the situation in any shape, way or form. And it's like he did not change his emotionality, it didn't affect him in any way. He was kind of rigid and unresponsive emotionally. For trait number 8, we have big ego. This is basically the main drive of all narcissists. They all have insatiable egos. Even in the short video, you see him owning the place, feeling like he's the most important person there, taking control, being in charge, feeling so above everyone else. And this speaks to his huge ego. For number 9 here, we have they don't learn from past mistakes. All of us, when we f up, we own it, we resist it sometimes, but we always end up learning from it or try not to repeat it. People with that condition, they don't really learn. They can repeat the same thing over and over and over and over because in their head they don't conceptualize that they can be punished or they've done anything wrong. He has a history of bad practice and he obviously doesn't seem to learn anything from it. I mean, watch the video and I bet you that if they let him on the loose, he will do shit again. And people like that will never learn, and that's why maybe it's safer to keep them locked up for the rest of their life. For trait number 10 here, we have they cannot love anyone but themselves. They usually have one-way relationships and it flows only in their direction. This is my weakest argument, but I truly believe that his wife divorced him and changed her legal name because he was not the best husband to her. And when you do not have the most loving, supporting spouse, it's easier to just get rid of them when there's a story like this, or sometimes you just use this as an escape to leave the relationship. And I believe that he did not have a healthy relationship, and I bet you in 2, 3, 5 years we'll learn more about that. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope that you had a new perspective on the situation. Please share your opinion down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more videos like this. Until next time, guys, cheers!